Hello, everyone. It's time for Vanished Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 316, season 13. Today's date is March 17th, 2024, and welcome to the show, and happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. On today's program, I will talk about the Hawthorn Mellody Dairy Farm that was once located in Libertyville, Illinois. And I'm going to talk about the TV animated series Rocke Robin Hood. I don't think a lot of people remember this show, but I'll explain why this is Chicago related, and you'll understand. Okay. So right now, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by McDonald's Shamrock Shake. And it features the debut of Uncle O'Grimacy, which is the Grimace's uncle. Oh, boy. When I saw this on YouTube, I died laughing. So anyway, once I play this commercial, I'll be right back. And so everyone sit back and relax and enjoy it. Thank you.
My Uncle O'Grimacy is coming to visit, and I didn't get him a present.
Ah, a Shamrock Shake coming up.
Oh, sure, and be Cora House, me little nephew.
Here, Uncle O'Grimacy.
Oh, you shouldn't have a Shamrock Shake, I take it. Oh, it's great. It's green. Where on earth can we get more?
There's only one place on earth to get a Shamrock Shake. McDonald's. But only for a limited time.
I better have one then.
Sure, and be Cora.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you joined the commercial for McDonald's Shamrock Shake, featuring the debut of Uncle O'Grimacy. That's the Grimace's uncle. He debuted in 1975, and I remember this. So I remember this commercial very well when I saw it on TV. As for the Shamrock Shake, it started in 1970. That was when it was introduced. I'm sorry. The flavor was kind of different, and it wasn't minty as it is now. It's kind of a lemon lime sherbet with vanilla syrup. Kind of weird. Now it's delicious. It is. So anyway, so I had one last Friday. I was hungry, so I got one. I probably have once or twice a year, and that's it, because it's very fattening, but I love it. That's one of my favorite items at McDonald's. I know they don't put it every day, but the funny thing is, in the old days they had the shake, but they didn't put whipped cream on it. No whipped cream, just a shake, and it was green. And now they added whipped cream. They added whipped cream. I don't know when they added whipped creams. Excuse me. That's fine. I don't know if you requested without it. I don't know. That's all right. It's good. It's really good. So it's a treat. It's a treat. I'm trying to lose weight, but it's a treat. So what? Where else would you get it? There are probably other places that's similar to that. I'm sure. It's not the same. And so Uncle Grimacy, he was there for a little while. Then they phased him out. And then right now, Shamrock Shake has other variations like Shamrock Chocolate Shake, Shamrock Chocolate Chip Frappe, Shamrock Hot Chocolate, Shamrock Mocha. I haven't tried these, so that's fine. The funny thing is they sell these in the United States and in Canada and also in Ireland. I wonder how it tastes in Canada or Ireland. No idea. Okay. The second thing I want to tell you is last Friday I went to 115 Bourbon Street. That's located in Marionette Park. That's like 115th Street in Homan, west of Kedzie, on the south side. WGM Morning News had their annual party, St. Patrick's Day party. They didn't have it during the pandemic. I think they skipped it a couple of times. So this was my first time. I decided to go there. Got up at the crack of dawn. Well, it wasn't really dawn. I didn't see the sun, so I got up at 4 in the morning, to be curious. And I got there. Didn't wait. I didn't get a reservation. I just waited in line. But when I went in, I told them, I didn't have a reservation. He said, "That's okay. They put a little wristband on me, and that was okay." And we waited. Everyone waited for the morning team to come and they were on stage. They put on a great show. There was singing, there was contests, there was all kinds of stuff. They did they didn't do the news. Other people did, but they did the 9 and 9. Okay. And it was packed. Very packed. I stood most of the time. I wanted to sit down because I have to, because I'm, on medication. Luckily, I found a seat. I asked a lady, "Can I sit there?" And she says, "Yeah, for a little while because someone's coming back." Okay, that's fine. I just want to sit for 10 minutes. And I did. And I did walk around a bit. I had to walk around a bit like that. So when I did, I met some of the people from the morning team, the B team. Almost all of them. Like, for example, I saw the new traffic reporter, Brett. I forgot her last name. Also, I ran into Lauren Jiggets and Morgan Kalkmeyer. She does the weather. Lauren does the news. Oh, very sweet girls. Very sweet ladies. They recognize. Lauren recognized me immediately. I have pictures on my Facebook profile, so you can see them. Then I saw Mike Toomey, the announcer. I shook his hand. The rest of the team I did not, but I saw Marcus Lachak. He was there. I waved at him. He came down. He wanted to see me. He wanted to talk to me. I talked to him for a little bit, but he, I didn't want to. He was kind of busy, so I didn't want to just, keep him there. But he was happy, and it was nice. We got a photo together. Oh, that was beautiful. That made me happy. That really, because he's a nice guy and he's a good friend, and like that. And so I left about 10 o'clock, and the party was still going on, but the channel news team left. They left. They went home. Okay. So that was a fun time. I don't know about next year if I'll go. I'll see. It depends how I feel. Because it's crazy like that. There's the only Greek person there besides Dean Richards. I told it to Marcus. He died laughing. He loved that. So anyway, a lot of I told people I was going to be there. A couple of people recognized me, from Chicagoland, which is great. Like that. All right. One last thing. I just got a response for somebody a couple responses for my podcast. One said that he loves the podcast about the White Castles. That was, when I went to high school and I ate there a lot, and he did too. And he said, "I love that podcast. It was great. It was great memories." And I said, "Thank you. That was very nice." Also, another response was a woman. She says, "I talk about the South Side too much of Chicago," and that is not true. I talk about the North Side. You have to give me a chance. I talk about, like for today, I'm going to talk about the Hawthorn Mellody Dairy Farm. It's up in Libertyville, Illinois. Give me a chance. It's not just South Side. It's the same thing that happens to my group and my page, about Chicago. I talk about all North Side, South Side, suburban, everywhere. Sometimes Indiana, they're included, like Hammond, like that. So, so I hope she will reconsider. Like that. Okay. I'm trying to think. Well, okay. As for my health, I went for my PET scan this week. I have not heard anything. Hopefully, I'll hear from the doctor this week. I got to the test results. I'm not going to say anything. It's sort of good news, bad news in a way, but I don't want to tell everyone yet. Not yet. Not until the doctor says, to be sure of what we're going to do. I'm confident about this. I really am. Okay. That's enough about me. So let's get started. I'm going to talk about the Hawthorn Mellody Dairy Farm in Libertyville, Illinois. I found this on a website. It's from the WTTW.com, and it's it's from Ask Jeffrey Bear. He's a reporter. He's a very nice man, and he asked him a question about this place, and I remember when I was a kid, I used to hear about it, and this was a working dairy farm, and also a tourist attraction, and I'll explain in a little bit. And it opened between 1939 and 1970. And it also they offer tours of the facility, where they make milk, and also had an amusement park, a petting zoo, and a Wild West town. And there's pictures out there. And my memories of this, well, actually, the company of Hawthorn Mellody was the milk, cottage cheese, ice cream, maybe butter, maybe. I don't know. I used to see them in stores all the time when I was growing up. I used to see them in the A&P, Jewel, National Foods, Hilo Foods. They were there. My mom used to buy those things. I asked her about that the other day, and she sort of remembers that, but mostly it was the milk. There was whole milk, there was skim milk, 2%, So anyway, the origins of Hawthorn Mellody would go back to a man named Samuel Insull, and he was the founder of Commonwealth Edison, what we know now as ComEd, So they built estates up north, like in Lake and DuPage counties, and they were called hobby farms, where people would, they want to get away from the city and, enjoy life in the country. And so anyway, this man, he was not very nice, and he's very dishonest. So he committed fraud and embezzlement, and and it's a long story, so I won't talk about him that much. So that was scandalous in a way. So the property was purchased by a man named John Cuneo Sr. I think it's how you pronounce his name. He was a printing company magnate, and his family came from entrepreneurs of grocers, grocery stores. So he bought Insull's estate and the surrounding farm, and he expanded the dairy and kept the original Hawthorn farm name, which is great. It was just like a farm, you had horses, hogs, poultry, dairy cows, you name it. It was a farm back then. Libertyville back then was not populated then. It was just very quiet, very rustic like that. So he decided to have field trips. So, kids from schools, some kids from school, they would visit there and go on field trips, go to the amusement park and go to the petting zoo. They had a Wild West town that was called Hawthorn Gulch. Sounds like something from an old Western. It featured a bank, a general store, covered wagons. Oh, that sounds like fun. And a miniature steam railroad that took visitors on tour on the property. Oh, that sounds cool. Like that. at the petting zoo or the children's zoo, they had that. They had turkeys, ducks, and a very llama that spat a lot. And they had a circus elephant, and all the kids and the adults would pet them or see them. I don't think the children were scared. It was very popular. And then by the late 60s, attendance decreased, and I don't know, it just fell out of favor. So the amusement park was closed in 1970. I think the farm did as well, I believe. So the brand, the dairy brand, Hawthorn Mellody, continued to exist, until it stopped in about the early 1990s. It was because due to bankruptcy, and the land was annexed to the village of Vernon Hills, where they had the Hawthorn Center, the shopping mall. And now the property is, I don't know if it's, I think it's homes and the mall, like that. I would like to go there someday and see that, like that. And so a lot of people remember, having their milk delivered by the milkman. Yeah, I think Oberweis does that, I believe. So, in the old days, so they have their milk delivered. You put your milk bottle out on the stoop, outside your home. And then, so that's another dying business. So I'll talk about that someday, like that, milk companies. But, it had that logo, like with the flower, and that was very pretty when I was a kid. It looks very nice. Yeah. So that's another vanished Chicagoland business. Poof, gone. Okay. Next up, I'm going to talk about the TV animated series, Rocket Robin Hood. I'm going to explain why I'm discussing this obscure cartoon series. The reason was this aired when Garfield, Goose, and Friends was on the air on WGN TV, Channel 9 in Chicago. And when I was growing up in the late 60s and early 70s, they played this commercial. I mean, not commercial, excuse me, the cartoon. And I remember the theme song and the animation. And the animation is just like the 1967 TV cartoon series Spider-Man, with the jazzy theme song, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Dun, 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 dun. I love that song. Also, there was Space Angel, if you remember that. That's from the same production company. So about this series, this is based on from the classic Robin Hood legend. Only it was set in in outer space and in the future. This is from Canada. It came from Canada, and it featured all the characters from there. Like, for example, there was Rocket Robin Hood and his merry men. There was Little John, Friar Tuck, Will Scarlet, of course, Maid Marian, and Alana Dale. And they had a cook named Giles. And that took the year that took place was in the year 3000. It was called the New Sherwood Forest Asteroid. So the villain's head was the Sheriff of Nott, which meant Nottingham, and Nott meant National Outer Space Terrestrial Territories. And other villains that he fought was Dr. Medulla, Manta, Nocturne, and the Warlord of Saturn. And The characters, Robin Hood and his merry men flew in spaceships, and they used weapons and all that. Not like bows and arrows like in the old days. This is not the Kevin Costner movie. No, 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 no. It's not that. The show consisted of 3 segments with a cliffhanger, of course, And the theme song was, it's kind of a British sound. So I will play this. So I will play the theme song of Rocket Robin Hood right now. And when I come back, I will wrap up the show. Okay? So sit back and relax. And here is the theme song of Rocket Robin Hood. This is the introduction. All right? Thank you.
Come gather around me, space travelers surround me. Hark now to the ballad of Rocket Robin Hood. I may well confound you, astound you, spellbound you with heroes and villains, the bad and the good. Watch now as our rockets race here from afar, for now with our Robin we live on a star.
3, 2, 1, blast off! Band of brothers marching together, heads held high in all kinds of weather. With fiery blast our roaring rockets rise, beyond the earth, beyond the skies. At the side of Robin take your stand, with the gallant leader of our band. Send a joyous shout to walk the land for Robin Hood.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Rocket Robin Hood. Now, this series ran for 3 seasons, had 52 episodes. So I don't think it showed on TV much after that. Not during Garfield Goose. I don't remember seeing it. Maybe on Channel 50 later on in the 80s, possibly, or like USA Network. When we got cable, maybe they showed it there. Maybe, I don't know. It is on DVD, so you can, but it's not all the episodes there. You can find them cheap, very on cheap places, in stores like the dollar stores, or you can find it on eBay. I'm sure you'll find it. So I just remember this when I was a kid. I remember watching this, and I was kind of fascinated, And I remember Fraser Thomas, host of Garfield Goose and Friends. He had the big little screen. He had a little TV screen. Put it by, hanging on Garfield Goose's castle, and then he would introduce it, Rocket Robin Hood. That's what I remember. That's a good memory. It is. I hope everyone I'm sorry. I hope everyone understood that. So that's another Chicago memory of mine. Mm-hmm. He had other cartoon series there, but I'll talk about them another day. All right. So that's it for this program. I'll do a recap of what I talk about. I talk about the Hawthorn Mellody Dairy Farm in Libertyville, Illinois. Also, I talk about the TV anime series Rocket Robin Hood. The third anniversary. Yes, the third anniversary of Anne Chicagoland Stories. The podcast is coming up soon. I'll do something very special, and this should be maybe Tuesday, or maybe this next weekend. I'll decide by then. I'll think of it over. So I can't believe it's been 3 years since I started that. So it was. At first, it wasn't doing so well. Then it grew in popularity later on. It took time. Until now. And, because you have to broaden it. You have to share it and let people know that I'm doing a podcast. I shared it on social media, and on my blog. So it really took time to do that, just like I said. So yes, I will do something special for my anniversary show. Maybe something I've talked about before, or something new. We will see. Yeah, we will see. It'll be kind of fun. hmm Of course, the story was well. I'm not going to tell the story. I'm going to tell it on the anniversary show of how I started. That's going to be a long time. That'll take too much time. All right. So this podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are available: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, also Breaker and Overcast. Also will be published on my blog, vanchicagoland.blog. On the apps, you can listen to on your desktop, your iPad, uh, your laptop. Click follow, get the episode. Get the latest episodes. Also, it's going to be published on my YouTube channel. Again, people ask me, where do I find your podcast? Where do I find your podcast? You can find it on YouTube. Go to YouTube, do a search, Fantasy Chicagoland Stories, the podcast, or my name. You would find it, and click subscribe, and you will get the latest show, and also you can check out the previous shows if you like. If you have time, help yourself. Also, this will be shared on my social media accounts: Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, Instagram, Threads, and also Blue Sky. Okay. And also TikTok. Not a big TikTok fan. Yeah, I don't know. They have the link. I have the link, so you would click on the link. Okay. All right, so this is Pete Costanis, your host for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. It's today is kind of chilly, kind of cloudy for a Sunday morning. Also, St. Patrick's Day. Everyone have a good holiday. Usually, you would have corned beef and cabbage, or do an Irish jig when you're at a bar. You know what? A lot of people say everyone's Irish on that day, and that is true. When I was at 115 Bourbon Street, I felt like I was Irish, which I'm not, but it felt nice. It was nice. They really have a good time. They really do. Yeah. Okay. So here's bye bye for me, and here's a little traveling music from Ray Rayner saying bye bye bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye bye bye.